fortunate that we will have actually our first speaker, the chairman and president of Rajah Travel Corporation herself, Ms. Aileen Clemente, who is also one of the change makers and movers, not only here in the Philippines, but also in Asia, and also as member of the World Travel Tourism Council. Ms. Clemente actually has been with the Rajah Travel Corporation since 2000, and she has actually witnessed, and she was part of the expansion of the company, which now has more than 250 employees. She's also responsible for the overall operations of their offices in Manila, in Makati, and in other implant offices. Ms. Clemente, or Aileen, as we actually fondly call her, is the only Filipino recipient of the Global Peace Awards for Empowered Women in Tourism, organized by the International Institute for Peace through Tourism India, in partnership with the United Nations World Tourism Organization, and she received this award in 2016. She has also been honored with the Skull Club Makati Travel Agency with the Personality of the Year Award in 2015, and the Amadeus Industry Leaders Award, or the ILAW. Through the years, she has held various positions in several travel industry associations and organizations, and she served actually as president of the ASEAN Tourism Association, or the ASEANA, from 2014 to 2016, and as executive vice president of the Tourism Congress of the Philippines from 2014 to 2017.
Thank you, Twinkle. Maliit kasi ako eh, sorry. No, but first of all, I would really like to echo our heartfelt gratitude to Our Lady of Fatima University for being very supportive of all of our requests. No, but also for all the things that Rajah Travel is doing with its Tourism Knowledge Center. Also to all our delightful speakers. Not just because they took off their very busy schedules, but also because you flew in from Singapore and went with my insanity in setting this up. But really, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for all the support. We are very lucky today, as everyone has been talking about, because we now see the benefits of collaboration. We see what's the benefit of not working in silos. And that we would know today how each one affects the other. And I'm sure you'll appreciate it more. And with that, I'll begin my presentation as everyone has been properly acknowledged, I hope. Also, I believe the media is also here. Thank you for coming because, again, this should set the right tone for how we look at tourism and the jobs and careers in tourism. So I've seen a lot of seminars and talks, and usually the title or the description would be future-proofing the jobs in the in the global landscape. And sometimes I'm not sure whether it means that we rationalize the current jobs so that we can hold on to the ways of the past, or if it means having an access to the crystal ball and know what the future looks like. But in any case, both seem to be not practical nor realistic. So we suggest that we can not predict, that we can predict but not see the entire future. We can look at some facts, as shown here, and look at the future. So what's nice about it is that the global tourism is growing at 5.6%, and the Philippines continues to grow at 7.65% in terms of arrivals. So we're still ahead. In terms of jobs, again, we're still ahead of the standard of, or the average of the global tourism industry. And also, in terms of in terms of jobs, the share, we have a higher share here in the Philippines. But this is just one part of the equation, and this seems to be the default statistics that we always look at. We encourage all of us to not just look at this. I always would like to use the iceberg because this is what we see, this is what we know, this is what we report on. But actually, this is what it is. There's a big invisible cost that we're not looking at. And we need to really look at what is the other costs. Our cost of operation is also apparent, it's visible. But there are others, which is the social, environmental, and cultural. And these have been defined in the Sustainable Development Goals. And the point is to narrow down as much as possible of all of these invisible costs. And this is something that's pushing the industry to look at technology to find ways on how to make it sustainable as a business. So before we have jobs, of course, it has to be a business. But how do you make the business sustainable so that it can create that sustainable future for everyone? So as Twinkle mentioned a while ago, there's several jobs and it's growing in our industry. So while the rest of the other industries, manufacturing and all the others are shrinking because of the automation, the jobs in this industry is growing. So right now, it is 1 out of 10 jobs globally that is created. But in the future, it is 1 out of 5 jobs, which means it will grow. But even if we talk about jobs, it's not about having the same job. The nature of the job is changing. So even if you have the same title, it doesn't mean the same thing in the future. So I don't know if you've ever seen this, but these are the Sustainable Development Goals. So one of the important things that is affected is time. Because whatever you do, tourism will grow. The population is growing. More of the people will want to visit other places, and it will always grow. But how can you make sure we service them and provide the same service in a shorter span of time so you can handle a bigger volume? So that's why there's the automation. So we have the challenge of time and timeliness. So while some jobs will disappear because they are mechanized, the growth will be there. So just a few examples. I don't want to preempt the GDS discussion here, but from the manual preparation of before, from 2 minutes, because of automation, it has changed to a minute. And by providing some scripts, sorry, this is from your competitor, but these are just important statistics that it can optimize certain work that is manual in nature. I know that there are some subjects right now in school that is based on the teaching of the GDS on what to do. But rather, I would like the academe to concentrate on why they are doing something instead of what they need to do. Because if there's a deviation or an improvement to the technology, they get lost. So one of our suggestions is that we move to understanding concepts, understanding why certain things happen. Also, one of the changes is the number of ways the customer contacts us, and most of the time it's instantaneous. So even email doesn't work as much as now the chat. It's growing. Mobile technology is where everything is moving. Again, another automation. So we may not need a lot of the people that we used to to need. That's why you have the booking tool or you go to an online booking site. All of us have different online booking sites. But again, the things that are necessary or changes one's experience in travel has to still be there. So let me make this short comparison that before, in getting to 1 kilometer, they used horses. And then the train, the car. So the number of seconds it takes to get to 1 kilometer is lesser and lesser. The same is true for data. Unfortunately, we are at a time that everything is almost instant. So that is what is driving the service level that we all need to have and what you need to teach or what the students need to learn in providing that service. So, 210 terabytes per second is happening. That's in 2017, so that's more now. If this was paper and we needed to print everything, that's 4 million trees per second, which we don't even have. So now the technology has moved to that level where everything is almost virtual. So here are some changes also. So you'll see probably airline counters moving away. Check-in, boarding has also been changing. Sorry. And now, even passport control is also different.
Tech Technology Week 2017. Look at the latest innovations that are coming to Dubai. One of those is a passport immigration tunnel coming to Dubai Airport very soon, which focuses on facial recognition software and also iris recognition to speed up processing through the airport. So here we are at the Dubai Airport new immigration tunnel. And I'm walking through the airport scanner. As I'm looking around, it's picking up my eyes and recognizing my face so I can get through passport control without any queues and get on to my ultimate destination without having to wait at the airport.
So, we may not even need as many immigration officers at a later time because of the scanning technology. Before, we just used to use brochures, and I see some of the schools, you have your labs in your schools where you still have the brochure rack and all of that. And we started moving to TV screens and later on even virtual reality. You can even see the room that you will want to stay in even before you go there, just to make sure everything is right.
I'm Justin. Welcome to the Mercedes-AMG Petronas Motorsport Garage. And we're going to take you through their experience so you can have an immersive and augmented reality experience in the garage. This is Valtteri Bottas's car, powered by the EQ Power Plus. Take a look around the car, then you can see that the car is actually mainly made up of carbon fiber.
So, again, just as an example, I'm using a car, F1, the Formula 1. How they look at cars is how you can look at a destination now. You can just wear the glasses. So some are functionally using it this way, where we need a new set of jobs. And another one, you'll find it exciting, is using augmented reality. Sorry, the example is kinda baka mali. Pero I'm sure the students here know the game Assassin's Creed. Oh, see. Actually, when the Notre Dame burned, it is Assassin's Creed who has the digital mapping of Notre Dame. So, kahit nasira siya, sorry, I'm speaking in Taglish. Kahit nasira siya, the way they can recover this is because of the digital mapping of Assassin's Creed. So even the places that you cannot go to in a usual tour, you can go through that in a gaming industry. So not only are we developing tourism by going to an actual destination, but through gaming. And that's what F1 did also, because F1 was dying and they saw that Formula 1 could be a gaming industry. So from $1 billion industry, it is now $1 trillion industry. So this is the game. And this is the news about it. So they have a better layout of the Notre Dame, actually, than Notre Dame itself. See the pictures? They're almost the same. Okay. So, almost to wrap it up, for us right now, this is the cost to hire one person because, again, the gap. So it takes for us to hire one person to interview 20 other people because of the qualification. And it's costing us almost 2 million to hire one person because of the numerous people we need to interview and all of that. So keep this in mind because we have to lessen this gap. There has to be a way for us to be near hire or really hireable. Because we spend another 500,000 pesos in training because it was not provided in some of the schools. What are the things that we still want to emphasize on? Again, as I said, technical skills, we have mastered a lot of that. You are correct. But also, we need to concentrate on soft skills and things like analytical thinking, critical thinking, empathy, integrity, stewardship. These are things that are needed, especially in a service industry. And this is my last slide. What are the jobs of the future? They may sound or look the same to you, but the jobs and the nature of the jobs are different. So if there are any low-hanging fruit, these are the ones. Because nobody can replicate tour guiding. Nobody can replicate planning for a destination because you have to constantly change. You have to have different promotions for a destination. So there is a constant thinking of how to make it attractive, how to give an experience to somebody, and so on. Program management is another one. This deals with a lot of numbers for corporate clients. But these are the low-hanging fruits so far. So with that, I thank you.